love, friendship, and betrayal. Come, gather around, dear villagers, the narrator called out, his voice carrying with it the melody of enchantment. Tonight, I have a tale to share with you, one that will ignite the embers of your imagination. Once upon a time, in the heart of an enchanting African kingdom, he begun. There was a young boy, a prince by birthright, and a young girl, not of royal lineage, but blessed with the wealth and privilege bestowed upon her family. From their earliest days, Prince Tendai and the radiant, spirited young girl named Nomsa were inseparable. As they matured side by side, the affection between Tendai and Nomsa blossomed into something deeper, something akin to the love stories sung by the village bards. The people of the kingdom witnessed the duo's journey from childhood to adulthood, and with each passing day, their connection grew stronger. In the eyes of the kingdom's inhabitants, the two were a match made in the heavens, and as whispers of their profound affection spread like wildfire, Nomsa became known as the princess due to her close relationship with the prince. Yet, their love was not without challenges. The traditions of the kingdom dictated that a prince must choose a bride from noble lineage to secure the prosperity of the realm. Under the shade of the ancient baobab tree, its massive trunk standing as a silent witness to countless stories of the past, Tendai and Nomsa sat together, the dappled sunlight dancing upon their faces. Nomsa took a deep breath, gathering her courage, before gently broaching the topic that had been gnawing at her heart for far too long. Tendai, she began softly, her eyes fixed on a distant horizon, have you spoken to your father about us? The young prince cleared his throat, shifting uneasily on the ground. Nomsa, my love, I promise you I haven't had the right opportunity yet. The affairs of the kingdom, the council meetings, and the endless responsibilities, they've kept me occupied. Nomsa's disappointment was evident in her eyes, though she tried to hide it. Tendai, it's been months. Every time I bring it up, you find a reason to postpone the conversation. I can't help but feel that you're avoiding the subject altogether. Tendai reached for her hand, holding it gently within his own. Believe me, Nomsa, it's not that I'm avoiding it. It's just that I want the right moment, the perfect time to approach my father. You know how important this is, not only for us but for the future of the kingdom. Nomsa's gaze softened, and she squeezed his hand affectionately. I understand, Tendai. Tendai pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her. I promise, Nomsa. I will find the courage to face my father. And so, beneath the shade of the baobab tree, their love was sealed with a promise. The grand hall of the royal palace was filled with the echoes of jubilant laughter, and the rhythm of festive drums as King Mufaro sat upon his ornate throne, relishing the joyous aftermath of the night's celebrations. Prince Tendai approached his father with a mixture of determination and trepidation, hoping to find the right moment to broach the subject that weighed heavily on his heart. Father, Tendai began, his voice steady but laced with nerves. I must speak with you about something of great importance. King Mufaro looked at his son, his eyes gleaming with contentment, and patted the seat next to him. Come, my son, share your thoughts with me. It is a fine day, and I am in high spirits. What troubles you? Taking a deep breath, Tendai seated himself beside his father. Father, you know that I have reached an age where the thought of marriage has crossed my mind. I would like to take a wife, someone I love and who fills my heart with joy. The king's eyes widened with delight, and a wide smile spread across his face. Ah, my boy, I am delighted to hear this. Amidst the jubilant crowd, the king's voice rang out with grandeur, announcing the news that there would be a royal wedding. Cheers erupted, filling the air with infectious excitement, and those standing close to Nomsa enveloped her in warm embraces, showering her with congratulations. Turning to his son, King Mufaro placed a hand on Tendai's shoulder, his expression filled with pride and expectation. Tendai, my son, he began, you shall wed Princess Tariro, a noble and worthy match from our neighboring realm. Together, your union will fortify the bonds between our lands and pave the way for prosperity and peace. Nomsa, catching a glimpse of the exchange between father and son, noticed Tendai's eyes briefly meeting hers before he lowered his gaze. Nomsa smiled, her heart swelling with happiness, unaware that her dreams of becoming his bride had been shattered. Tendai, though taken aback by the revelation, found himself unable to voice his own desires. And so, amidst the cheers and celebrations, the course of destiny had been set. In the days that followed, Tendai's avoidance of Nomsa persisted, causing her immense pain and confusion. The letters she had sent in hopes of speaking to him remained unanswered, adding to her heartache. News of Tendai's betrothal to Princess Toriro spread like wildfire, and Nomsa's heart shattered as she became the subject of ridicule and mockery throughout the kingdom. Months passed in a haze of sorrow, but finally, Nomsa's persistence paid off, and she secured an audience with Tendai. She entered the room, her heart pounding in her chest, hoping against hope that his earlier assurances would hold true. "Tendai," she began, her voice barely above a whisper, "what is the truth? Is this marriage just for tradition, or do you still hold me in your heart?" Tendai's gaze softened as he saw the pain in Nomsa's eyes. He took a deep breath, gathering his thoughts, and replied, "Nomsa, I spoke the truth when I said you had my heart. The marriage to Princess Toriro was arranged for political reasons, but my feelings for you remain unchanged. However, I cannot deny my duties as a prince and future ruler." Nomsa felt a glimmer of hope, relieved to hear that he still loved her. The royal wedding proceeded as planned, with Tendai and Princess Toriro becoming husband and wife. Nomsa observed the ceremony with a heavy heart, trying to put on a brave face and suppress her inner turmoil. As time passed, Tendai's focus shifted entirely to his marital responsibilities, leaving Nomsa feeling like an afterthought in his life. The pain of being ignored and overshadowed by his new bride became too much to bear. She longed for the love and attention they once shared, but those moments seemed like distant memories now. One night, as the moon bathed the kingdom in its silvery glow, a letter arrived for Nomsa. With trembling hands, she opened it, and as she read Tendai's words, her world fell apart. The letter was filled with cold detachment, ending their relationship and citing his royal duties as the reason. Nomsa clutched the letter to her chest, her heart breaking into a million pieces. "I don't understand," she whispered to herself, tears streaming down her cheeks. "How could he do this to me after all we shared?" In the days that followed, Nomsa withdrew from the world, nursing her wounds in solitude. She had grown thin and unkempt, refusing to eat. Then an idea came to her. She would speak to Toriro and make her understand how important Tendai was to her. She had watched the princess for weeks now in the palace gardens. Nomsa knew all the secret entrances to the palace grounds, as she had played there since she was young. The plan was simple. She would approach the princess and speak with her. Cloaked in a simple robe and a hood to conceal her identity, Nomsa ventured into the palace gardens, making sure to grab a small dagger that the prince had once gifted her, just in case. Nomsa spotted Toriro strolling by herself in the garden. Seizing the opportunity, Nomsa cornered her with a mix of determination and nervousness. "Princess Toriro, I need to talk to you," Nomsa said. The princess was taken aback by the sight of this disheveled woman and asked in distress, "How did you get onto the palace grounds?" Fear glimmered in her eyes as she took a step back, considering fleeing the scene. With her heart pounding, Nomsa reached out, trying to quell Toriro's fear. "Please, don't be frightened. I mean no harm. I just want to speak to you," she said, her voice quivering with emotion. But before Nomsa could further explain her intentions, fear overcame Toriro, and she turned to run. Reacting instinctively, Nomsa lunged forward, hoping to stop her and have a chance to talk. "Wait, just hear me out," she pleaded, the words echoing through the garden. In the ensuing struggle, Nomsa's dagger fell from her cloak, and the two women struggled for a bit on the ground and then silence. Nomsa stood up in a haze, unable to comprehend the scene before her. She had blacked out and now there was blood everywhere. Then she saw it, her most prized possession sticking out of Toriro's heart. In the distance, a girl's voice called out for the princess, and panic swept through Nomsa. Without thinking, her feet carried her into the dense forest surrounding the palace. She could hear wailing in the distance, but she didn't dare look back. With each step she took, the forest grew denser, the foliage closing in, enveloping her in its embrace. The path ahead was obscured, mirroring the uncertainty that now clouded her future. A collective gasp swept through the villagers. The unexpected turn of events had caught them off guard, leaving them deeply moved by the tale of Nomsa and her tragic encounter with Princess Toriro. "Did she mean to harm the princess?" questioned a young villager with wide eyes, his innocence shining through the curiosity. "And what happened next?" inquired a middle-aged woman, her eyes still locked on the storyteller, seeking the resolution that had been withheld. With a knowing smile, the storyteller reminded them of their one story per week tradition. And so, the days passed slowly. The villagers waited with eager anticipation, until the day the storyteller would once again weave the threads of Nomsa's journey, and bring the tale to its conclusion. Until then, thank you for watching our story, Love, Friendship, and Betrayal, and we hope you enjoyed it. What lessons did you draw from this story? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and be part of the tribe. Thank you for watching The Tales of the Savannah. We will see you next time, in the Savannah.